So as predicted, I think a few days ago, I have indicated that we have entered an extraordinary moment politically in Zimbabwe as Emerson Mnangagwa is trying to push through Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026. The retired generals through retired Air Marshal, Vice Air Marshal, that is Muchena, have issued a statement just as Emerson Mnangagwa was preparing to begin or to commence the process of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026 to the Parliament of Zimbabwe. They have issued a fresh statement and making their words as well as their mind clear to the president as well as the process. And they have characterized Emerson Mnangagwa as the brainchild, as we always put it, of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So with me here, I've got a statement that was issued by in fact, generals and former senior civil servants of the Republic of Zimbabwe on 2 June 2026, and the reference is Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, our position and call to action. It's not just a position, but also a call to and the statement reads as follows. It says, in March 2026, we addressed the nation on the grave constitutional implications of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3, CAP3, and took a step further. And on the 18th of March 2026, we formally submitted our petition to Parliament during the so-called Constitutional Amendment Bill 3 consultative process in response to a public call to do so by Parliament itself, which was widely publicized. We state without equivocation that the said process was choreographed, imposed upon the people, and its outcomes do not in any manner reflect the genuine will of the people of Zimbabwe. It has since come to light that the people were compelled to append their signatures to thousands of fraudulent letters of support for Constitutional Amendment Bill 3, while selective media coverage systematically excluded the overwhelming majority of opposing voices. We reaffirm then, as we do now, one of the founding principles of the liberation struggle is that the power vests in the people. We call upon Parliament to subject CAP3 to a national referendum as it is constituted by the representatives of the people themselves. To this day, that call remains unanswered. 2 engagements with the President. Pursuant to our communication to Parliament, 2 formal meetings with His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Zimbabwe, were held on 18th and 19th of May 2026, respectively. As I keep on saying that there are a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes. Now, it's clear that Mnangagwa was engaged by the retired military generals, and they are even revealing the dates on the 18th as well as the 19th of May. I think this is new to us as the members of the public. Of course, I heard this. I wanted to do a live recording about it, but it was speculative. But now it is confirmed by the retired military generals as well as also the senior civil servants. They say on the 19th of May 2026, respectively, regrettably, the 2 meetings failed to produce any results. They met with Mnangagwa. The meeting did not produce any results. It's a very, very important detail especially looking at the current political affairs of Zimbabwe. So it's quite interesting. So it goes on to say, when we placed before the president our caution regards the dangers of this constitutional amendment, chief among them the alienation of the citizenry from the constitutional order and eventually alienation of our membership in ZANU-PF. His response was, in his own words, whoever wins, wins. That response speaks for itself. It lays bare the contempt with which the constitutional concerns of citizens and members of the party are regarded at the highest level of executive authority. What became unambiguously clear from those engagements is that the welfare of the party and the well-being of the people are no longer the primary considerations during this process. It has therefore become clear that the president is both the principal architecture and the principal beneficiary of Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. It's good that the retired military generals are rubber stamping this. We've always said it numerous times that Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 is a product of the bedroom of Emerson Mnangagwa and the military retired military generals. In fact, I'm okay also to say the military, because don't ever think these people are acting in isolation, as you will notice in some days to come. And there's already a lot that is happening. In fact, I came late today because of other issues, but I will be dealing with each and every issue following it up to the core. He goes on to say, he exercises complete control over the current CAP legislative process. And it is our considered view that the financial benevolence of Mr. Mnangagwa Chakwire is materially sustaining that process, whom we have discerned to be the laboring under the impression that he is a secondary beneficiary of the intended amendments on our constitution. 3, warning to the nation. The generals are issuing a warning to the nation. We wish to put it on the record that the president has not conducted himself as a constitutionalist. That's a strong statement. That's a very strong and powerful statement. 2, let me just continue reading. Zimbabweans should not be deceived. CAP3 is a personal and political project of a cabal. Its passage serves narrow individual interest, not the national interest. 4, proceedings before the Constitutional Court. On May 20th, 2026, applications challenging the constitutionality of CAP3 were placed before the Constitutional Court. The arguments advanced on the illegality of Constitutional Amendment 3 are, in our assessment, compelling and ought to persuade any reasonable court. We await the judgment with much anxiety as the rest of the nation. Further, we are informed that applications with members of parliament as respondents have been filed by voters within their respective constituencies against the proposed amendments. We reaffirm our unqualified respect for the independence of the judiciary. We repose truth and confidence in the judges and their professional commitment to their oath of office as the last institutional line of defense of our constitutional order. We call upon them to discharge their duties without fear or favor. This is quite strong. I wonder what may be going through to the mind of the members of the judicial system. Remember, they are not told by Hlonipani to do so. They are told by the retired military generals, and they would be reminded that, remember, we forewarned you to act in such a manner beforehand, and you decided to do your own call. It's quite interesting. Now, they say, further, we are informed, okay, I've read that. The last one says, we affirm our unqualified respect for the independence of the judiciary. We repose truth and confidence in the judges and their professional commitment to their oath of office as the last institutional line of defense of our constitutional order. We call upon them to discharge their duty without fear or favor. 5. Our position on the members of parliament. We take particular and deliberate interest in the litigation against individual members of parliament. It is our considered position that the legislature has been or is in the process of being captured by the cabal made up of Zwikananda's interest and by Minister of Justice, and by the financial influence of Mr. Mnangagwa. In addition, we have heard the Minister of Justice speaking to the whipping of ZANU-PF members of parliament to vote for CAP3. It is our unqualified position that instead it is the people who should be whipping the members of parliament. The people's voice has been taken away from them. We stand in full and unequivocal solidarity with every voter who has taken the constitutionally courageous step publicly or otherwise of challenging their members of parliament on the possibility of CAP3. We salute these individuals made up of the majority of Zimbabweans. Accordingly, we call upon all patriots to mobilize the electorate in active and sustained opposition to the members who seek to collude with the Zwikananda to unlawfully extend their own terms of office and those of the president without the absolute consent of the voters. 6. Corruption in the passage of CAP3. We are in possession of credible information that provincial chairmen were induced with motor vehicles and payment of 100,000 each to support Constitutional Amendment Bill 3. This abrupt deployment of public and private resources to mutilate the national constitution in a matter of the gravest concern. Is a matter of the gravest concern. We are further informed that on the occasion of the private function, the 40th birthday celebration of the Honorable Tatenda Mabetera, Mr. Mnangagwa convened a closed caucus with a select group of political surrogates, namely Minister Ziyambi, Mthuli Ncube, Tori Moyo, and Martin Rushwaya, for the purpose of determining the allocation of a 31 million budget set aside for the procurement of parliamentary votes in favor of CAP3. US 50,000 per member of parliament was approved at that meeting as individual payments. These are not allegations we make lightly. We make them as men and women who have served this nation with honor and who refuse to stand silently by while its constitutional foundations are sold to the highest bidder. It will simply not happen. 7. Final warning to the members of parliament. We remain committed, Zimbabweans, loyal to the values of the liberation struggle and to the people of the nation. We address elected members of parliament, members of Senate, and those in proportional representation in the August House directly and without ambiguity. Complicit in Constitutional Amendment Bill 3 constitute a blatant violation of the Constitution of Zimbabwe. The unlawful extension of presidential and parliamentary term limits without the consent of the people is not a matter of political expediency. It is a constitutional transgression that will carry enduring and serious consequences for each and every individual who participates in it. The electorate is watching, history is watching, every Zimbabwean will remember those who chose personal enrichment over constitutional duty. We warn, do not betray the people. 8. Conclusion. Our clarion call to all Zimbabweans, regardless of political affiliation, is to stand on the side of history. The Constitution is not the property of any individual, any party, or any benefactor. It is the supreme expression of the will of the people of Zimbabwe, both at great cost by those who sacrificed in the liberation struggle. We will not permit it to be traded away in a caucus room at a birthday party. We shall continue to engage all legitimate constitutional, legal, and civic avenues available to us, and we shall continue fully to the people of Zimbabwe, for we shall in fact account fully to the people of Zimbabwe for every step we take in this struggle. Issued by Air Marshal Henry Muchena, retired, for and on behalf of retired generals and former senior civil servants of the Republic of Zimbabwe. I must attest to you, this is so serious because there are many developing stories. Let me cut this one and update you. We'll be analyzing further issues later on. Thank you very much for watching us. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Ogancebo Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's meet on the other side of the live broadcast as I